Our third reader, Megan Pinto, is the author of Saints of Little Faith, published by Four Way Books, as well as the chaplet Lovesick, published by Belladonna. Megan's poems can be found in the Los Angeles Review of Books, Ploughshares, the Slowdown Podcast, and elsewhere. She has won the Anne Halley Prize from the Massachusetts Review and the Amy Award from Poets and Writers. Please welcome Megan Pinto.
Across an open field. Migratory birds make their shapes. I hold my thoughts as separate from me so that I can see them. That the darkness I feel is not mine, does not belong innately to me. That many people have courted their sadness around me. Whatever that winter was, I have made it through. Now I stand in diminished light, walking the lake's darker edge. Each time we return to a memory, we change it. So when I tell you about those nights in the jungle, sleeping in hammocks, the sky for once not dulled by human light, and how the boy next to me kept telling me I was beautiful, reaching through the hammocks to touch my skin, and how I could not stand it. Does language move me closer or further away? Back then, I clung to my own ugliness. If I was ugly, then I could not be loved. Each day, river waters stripped my skin of dirt. I thought it was safer to feel my shame than it was to want. Maybe, like everything, healing has a season, dormant but rooting, like how today my heart is full of romantic feeling. I can see it everywhere. Love on the faces of strangers on the train, each smiling softly into their phone, or gazing past the darkness. For so long, I picked people who could not get along. Desire was an arrow, but now desire is the field. I have three choices: to drift through life anesthetized, to soften. The lake looks frozen, but it is not. Thank you all for being here, and thank you so much to Poets House for inviting me. I just wanted to open with a poem from Saints of Little Faith, because as I started to write new work, which maybe some of you in this room are exploring, finishing one project and moving to the next, I was like, what do I have to say? But the first book is really interested in suffering of many different forms, one of which is romantic. And it asks, how do we learn how to give and receive love? And that felt like a question, like perhaps all the questions of poetry that we can continue to turn to, that like our own obsessions and subject matters are generative. So I'll read some new work that is about that obsession, that question. And I'll start with the Belladonna chaplet titled Lovesick. 1. Behind me, fog was lifting off the green. Tell me what you know about love, you said. Often, one landscape gives way to another, a field of dark roses, the briny blue sea. That you are not always the you I am writing to, though every you I write to finds their way back to you. All my life, I wanted a love that was true blue. Then night came. I would sleep fitfully, the dogs howling, melding with the dream. Rereading the end of the novel of love, feeling troubled by the book's central premise. Is it possible for a contemporary reader to encounter romantic love in novels and not read it as ironic? I asked my friends, single, poly, monogamous. Most of them felt tortured by the ones they loved, though a few were happy. Is it difficult to love? Or is love our true nature, and does difficulty lie elsewhere? 3. A friend, call her D, loved a man on the Upper West Side. She lived in Red Hook. The rules of their affair were simple. Afraid to sink, he would not swim. Often in darkness, she rode the ferry, then the train, back and forth. When he finished, was his happiness hers, too? The just would say, this is not equality. She gives and he receives. The cautious would say, I bet he's never been tested for STIs. I hope they're using condoms, but I bet he hates the feeling. The strong would say, fuck this guy. This city is teeming. These words are spoken in daytime, usually among the company of other seemingly reasonable people, invoked to convey a sense of authority over the self and, more importantly, the self's passions. They indicate a mild to moderate level of self-introspection that is required of urban young adults, along with the signaling of an awareness of feminism and therapeutic speech. But where reason ends, love's suffering begins. She could not leave him because. 4. Dee and I ride the ferry sometimes. You can drink margaritas, but we never do. Against the current, we hold pieces of her broken heart. From the Greek disdaimon, I don't know how to pronounce that, which means ill-fated, comes the name Desdemona, though you can hear it in the Mona. Ill-fated in love, my friend, as so often was I, though we both believed ardently in romance. I share my quandary with Dee. Could we still center literature on the quest for romantic love? Or was I thinking like a girl? Dee counters, the quest for romantic love is the quest for self, maybe not one's spiritual half. Our collective consciousness has moved past that, but perhaps a kind of mirror. Perhaps. But Dee and I end back where we began, with 2 rudimentary questions. How do we recognize love if we have not received it? What is love? And I am definitely still working on this sequence, so I'll stop there with the lyric essay. But I imagine these interludes that might punctuate it. So I'll read one. The sea. For a long time, I slept right by the sea, mouthfuls at sand at night by the sea. The light of childhood forever blue, where love was a blighted boat at sea. I struggled to warm men who kept ice in their hearts, my tears frightened seas. Love returned softly between intensities as pelicans drift across a lightened sea. Awash with the moon, hushed lovers kiss and trace her many white seas. Shame again sands my dreams, all my castles swept away by might of sea. Megan, I'll meet you somewhere green. The leaves delight with rain from the sea. And I'll share 3 other new poems. the tower. For months, I suffered by the window. I considered the sea's cold embrace. Then I read novels in the feminine voice, willing new thoughts. So when the mystic pushed the cards toward me, I felt condemned. What did they show beside the torment of my own dark heart? The gift of fire's flay is change. Was this finally my season? Outside, a moose makes slow tracks through the field, disappears into fog. Until now, I held a simple hope, to love. But each man I chose was cold at heart. I believed myself a field of wilding flowers, thrust before the fog's gray veil, but no, I was the fog. The cards foretold a love that would endure, but first I had to leave my private realm. Here in this weather, it's impossible to separate sky from sea. The field unfolds before me, where moose appear and disappear. They cannot sleep or dream. The doe. Because of the rain, the meadow is empty. How quickly the train vanishes this view. I press my ear to blank paper, hoping to hear you, waiting for a break in the rain. My mother counseled me to pray, Mary, Mother of Jesus, please be a mother to me now. I rouse the childlike versions of my inner selves who cling to certain hope. Oh, delay. How difficult to wait. I tromp through rain, sullying my good shoes in the meadow to get close to you. Like God, all beauty is proxy for your beloved face. The river floods. Long wild grasses fold with deluge. The meadow does not know where the doe goes on a rainy day, only that she goes. And this is I'll end with this poem that, spoiler alert, I'm now dating someone wonderful. So there's a happy ending, but it's not really that happy, only because it turns out, I don't know, life goes on. But one of the things I've been thinking about is how, I guess, is like the parallels of making one's art and making a life, and how they both draw upon this well of love, and how sometimes I'm so self-obsessed about my own art that I'm like not present. So this poem is called Long Weekend. We rented a small place by the sea. For a few days, we could look out across a widening expanse of blues. Nights beside the water, more stars. You traced Orion's belt against the dark. I hope to be free of seeking attention from the external world, which always overwhelmed my art. Yet, in my work, there were times I could give myself over completely to matters of the heart. In the sand, white-breasted gulls returned. You could spend lifetimes in the shadow of other people's wants, and you have done it many lifetimes over, said the mystic, brushing my tears from the cards. In my work, I was adept at constructing niche dioramas of the heart, long hallways for certain sorrows to brood in, and sudden windows facing westward to gaze upon joys, until one morning I found my own joy dead in the yard. After that, I woke repeatedly into a persistent dark. So you see, I often said, I have lived so long with a vacant heart, and what if our love turns to sand? You take my hands into your hands. Our small place, the sea, is illegible at night, except for its solemn crashing. To be drawn into oneself, then out like the tide, is that love? Or is love what shore remains? By the sea, everything seen is seen lightly, shadows of wings passing over sand. Thank you.